Hey guys, Paul's here. Welcome back to another Digimon Rearise videos. So I'm still doing my finals, but I do have like a bit leeway between now and next Friday. So yeah, I could potentially be doing daily videos again. I don't know. We'll have to see how the schedule works out. But today we're actually going to talk about something that's been mildly frustrating, I'd have to say, for me and a lot of other players out there, is the quality of the banners that we've been getting. So lately, we've been on a bit of a drought in terms of banners. I mean, don't get me wrong, we're still getting like a banner per week, right? Our next banner should be out this, I think it's Saturday or something, right? At 7 o'clock. For some reason, it's Saturday. It's usually just like one week after, but I don't know. This is next banner's coming in like in 1 week plus 1 day for some reason. But anyways, that doesn't matter. What matters is that the banners we've been getting are trash. They're absolute trash. Like the last month, remember, we started off with Shine Greymon, and then I think we got Phoenixmon as our second one, and then afterwards we got Magnamon, which is all the way down here, and then because it's armored, and then we, capped up the month with Mirage Galgamon, which all four of these, I mean, Shine Greymon's straight up bad. I mean, Shine Greymon's okay for Clash, I guess, but we're mainly talking about PvP issues, right? For PvP, Shine Greymon's trash, Mirage Galgamon is trash, Phoenixmon is good, and Magnamon's good, but again, they both have their issues. Magnamon, Global already has the tenacious Gankumon, which is just a better Magnamon in this scenario in PvP, right? And then for Phoenixmon, Phoenixmon is a calm/brave healer, and there aren't that many great calm and brave Digimon on Global yet. Like, the best calm Digimon is Minervamon, and she's not like that crazy in comparison to some of these later, calm Digimons, right? And then last week for Black Friday, the highly anticipated Black Friday, we got, drumroll, Beelzemon. Okay, that was too much of a drumroll, but I don't really want to smack my computer into pieces yet. But we got Beelzemon, and Beelzemon sucks. I mean, he is a hype unit in the sense that it's a fan favorite. People like this character. I like this character. But in this game, he's just hot garbage if you don't have him at like a really high skill level, like 8, 9, or 10, right? His sub skill is absolute trash. The dude cannot take a hit. Like this guy, like I took out more than half of his HP with Minerva's S2, and Minerva's S2 is not supposed to be used for doing damage at all, which is really, really sad, unfortunately. But yeah, this guy is not great in Battle Park. And going back to the month before that, we got War Greymon, Melgarumon, which both, again, aren't that great for Battle Park either. And then we got the big Halloween banner, which is honestly, so far, the best banner that we've ever gotten. We've gotten Daemon, which Daemon didn't even come out on JP until like around Black War Greymon. Like that was after Alphamon, right? It was around Omega or Omnimon's time, right? So we got Daemon super early, and Daemon is really, really good, obviously. And we also got Piedmon with that. So again, that was a decent banner, but that's been like more than a month, right? So in like a whole month period of time, we really didn't get anything that crazy in terms of the PvP meta and stuff. So that's been really, really disappointing. I've seen people talking about, they really want to quit or whatever. And I'm still enjoying the game a lot, right? I still think, it's a really fun game to play. But we really, really need some decent banners to come out, or else like, people might start quitting, and that's not good for the game. They probably don't want that to happen, right? So let's just start looking at what like potential Digimon they could start throwing out at us, if they actually want folks to continue to get interested in pulling on banners, right? Because I've seen people just saving up, so much rubies because they haven't been summoning on anything, right? And I'm not saying saving up rubies is a bad thing. Saving up rubies is a great thing, but it's also that kind of sucks if, like, for a full month there really isn't much to pull for on global, right? So anyways, let's get back to the banners. So we've basically gone almost everything up to like this point, right? And maybe even up to this point, except for a few that we're missing. Vikemon is one, and then Lotusmon and Restaurantamon are one as well. So let's first look at Vikemon. So let's open up Vikemon. So Vikemon is an interesting cat. Well, it's not really a cat, but so Vikemon is actually not bad. I personally would have much rather had Vikemon out instead of Beelzemon for the Black Friday banner. In terms of usefulness, is much better. This dude's much better than Beelzemon. So just looking at its stats, 6,860 HP, 2,683 power. Both of these stats are not really that great, and he is tenacious, by the way. But he does have 1,784 defense, which is a lot, and 22 speed, which is kind of standard, I guess, for not so fast units. So moving on to its skills. So the main skill is interesting. It does 460 damage to a single target, and then increases your power damage resistance by 30%, and has a 50% chance to freeze. And then the sub skill is 260% damage to 2 enemies, and increases your defense for 2 turns. So overall, like, he's obviously not that great for Battle Park, but he's an okay-ish Clash battle, a unit, right? I guess to an extent, even maybe Underworld, right, as well. It's just decent, single target that will not take too many hits, or will take a lot of hits, right? I don't know why I said that. That's Beelzemon's description. And then the passive is 40% increase in pinpoint, which is trash, and then it nulls shock and freeze. So let me just check that for tenacious allies. So Vikemon isn't terrible, but if they throw out Vikemon, dude's not that exciting either. He's not the most exciting unit. He's probably a bit less exciting than Mirage Gaugamon, which again, Mirage Gaugamon is absolutely great for Clash battles. So Vikemon would not help the situation at all if they throw a Vikemon out. So let's check out out the other ones. Both Lotusmon and Restaurantamon, I think, would be decent drops at the moment for global to have as banners, and they were on a dual banner on JP. The first time Lotusmon debuted on JP, she was on a step-up banner with Restaurantamon, which was the second time Restaurantamon came back ever since his debut earlier in the cycle, right? It's like, what, 1, 2, 3, 4? There were like 4 banners between that. So let's first look at Lotusmon. So Lotusmon is actually pretty interesting if you're using it for Battle Park, right? So we're talking about the deft one. This is like, well, I guess they're both deft. Anyways, Lotusmon, 6,934 HP, not that great. Power, 2,935, not too crazy either. Defense, just in general, her stats are not the greatest, but her moveset it's pretty interesting. So your main skill is 220% damage to 4 enemies, increases defense for all allies by 30%, and then let me revert to original because that does not make sense at all. I think this means paralysis, but like 45% chance against 4 enemies. It's some kind of crowd control. I think it is. What the hell is Mahi? I don't know. It's just some kind of like status condition. I guess it looks like paralysis, but I'm not 100% sure. But then your sub skill, it does 260% damage to 2 enemies, and then this also makes no sense. Let's and for dexterity allies, 40% power up and 40% tech up. So she would be phenomenal on a full, if you're running a full dexterity team, right? And there's a lot of good dexterity options at the moment, or deft options. You got no Pumpkinmon, Daemon still huge, Piedmon is great, right? What else we got on global? Let's see. Stop scrolling. Piedmon, I guess Puppetmon, maybe, if you really want to do that. Oh, Ravemon's another one, right? You got a lot of decent dexterity units. Not Mirage Galgamon. But, for PvP, she's a really, really good unit for a full def team. And also, it makes your whole def team immune to all the CCs except for, I think, Blind and Skill Lock, right? So that's really nice as well. So you can start building a deft team with Lotusmon if she comes out. And then the other one is Restaurantmon, which I've been talking about for a while. I really want this guy. Okay, so the Brave Restaurantmon has not that great HP, 5,720. Okay-ish power. Well, actually pretty decent power. 3,520 power. 1,339 defense, which isn't too great. And then a 27 speed, which is fine. So overall, dude's stats are solid, I guess, for a Brave unit, for, a damage dealer. So moving on to his skills, it's 340% damage to 2 enemies. And then, again, we have to go back and forth for these. 2 enemies, 340% damage. This is an okay-ish multiplier, and dude has good base power anyway, so this will do a decent amount of damage, I guess. And then, it decreases 2 enemies' power for 3 turns, I think. No. Decreases 2 enemies' buffs. So if they have any buffs at all, like Hyerandramon's defense buff or Gankumon's resistance buffs, right? Any crit buffs, any, passive buffs, right? Those count as well. So those all get nullified. So that's great for 2 enemies, right? They'll, especially after your opponent Hyandramon buffs, right? Your opponents will be much easier to take out. Especially if they also have Gankumon buffs. If they have, what was it? Block buffs, right? That would make taking them out much easier. Or if they're running like a Wisemon team, you could take out their damage buffs, and that would make their team much more easier to beat. And then also decreases those 2 enemies' defenses by 20% for 2 turns. So that's a really, really decent main skill. And then for your sub skill, you have 210% damage to 3 enemies, and then lowers the block rate of 3 enemies by 20%. That's not as useful because, of course, if you want a lower block rate, you could use Minervamon, which lowers the block rate of all your opponents, not just 3. But it's something, I guess. And then also the passive disables shock to all allies, and this is really, really good because how many times folks have been just losing to Hyerandramon's shocks, right? Of course, that is more or less avoidable now, but it's still kind of annoying. So this would be really good in Underworld as well. If you guys are still having problems with some of the shock stages, or some of the stages with shock, I guess, this would be much, much beneficial to this as well. So again, a Restaurantmon I would think would be a really, really decent unit to throw out here. As well, just to keep the meta moving, because like the meta has been pretty stagnant for the last past month or so. It's always the same units, Minervamon, Mega Gargomon, Hyandramon, Noble Pumpkinmon, Daemon, Piedmon, all these guys. People have been running them to the ground. There hasn't been too much changes at all, and it's just getting kind of boring. Of course, Lotusmon and Restaurantmon, they're not the greatest, Digimon in the game, but they're pretty decent. Like, I'm not expecting them to just, like, throw out Ulfurst Vidramon or, like, Omnimon at us. That's not realistic. I'm just talking about some realistic options that could potentially come out in the near future, right? So these two would be decent. Again, but just saying the pre-Beelzemon Digimon, we still need Restaurantmon, still need Lotusmon, still need Vikemon. As for these other ones, I guess the other more near-ish futures, like once we get these 3 done and we move on to Seraphimon, then it gets more interesting. But at the moment, it's pretty stale. But once we get these 3 done, or maybe they'll introduce a few of these earlier, maybe Barbmon because he just sucks. But hopefully they don't, because we want something that's more usable in the Battle Park at the moment. So anyways, that's maybe for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Which banner do you guys want to see and all that. And yeah, like and enjoy this video, subscribe to the new channel. You can join our Discord, also join our Digi Guild. We have some inactive folks which we could potentially remove to make some more room for some more active guild members. By the way, we do reach the 25 check-in mark every day, so if you're worried about that, that's not a problem. We have that covered. So yeah, join our Discord to join the Digi Guild if you are so inclined, and I'll see you guys in the next one.